Welcome to Rooster Radio, a broadcast dedicated to supporting and promoting local artists in the Gaston County and surrounding areas.
Shit.
So a friend of mine, and Zaid's is a drag queen. So she hosts it, but then there's a DJ that does the karaoke, and when there's a lapse in singers, she comes out and does, And so last night, because it was my birthday, she did a bunch of like female fronted '80s stuff.
Like Pat
Benatar.
Yeah,
Oh, fun.
and the Pretenders and and stuff like that. So
Did you get up and sing?
no, I don't sing, dude. I the only reason I need a mic when we play is so that I can scream a couple of backup vocals and talk shit in between songs.
Does
That's
he really sound like a dinosaur? Because that's what you just sounded like.
what?
He went roar, and he sounded like a dinosaur.
Oh, yeah,
We make noises.
we do.
I mean, that's pretty. You just described punk rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We just make noises.
Yep.
Those are my normal speech patterns every day.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should start by introducing everybody. So we're gonna go. I guess we'll go left to right. This camera right there is kind of, if you want to address the audience, you want to look there and introduce yourself. We are talking to Squirt Vile, punk rock band that will be playing here very soon. It was March 15th.
Yep.
Friday, March 15th with who else on that? We got is it Long Shot Odds, Skewer Rat,
And Trash Can.
and Trash Candace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this lineup. When we were getting it all promoted and stuff, I was like, I love this lineup.
Yeah.
Trash Candace, Squirt Vile,
Yeah.
Skewer Rat. Like, this is some gutter
Right.
punk shit.
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
Hey, it's gonna be a
And
fun
long shot
show.
odds are awesome.
It sounds like Garbage Pail Kid cards.
Yeah. But yeah, introduce yourselves, and then we'll get going.
What's up? My name's Sergio. I'm the guitarist of Squirt Vile.
What up? I'm John. I'm the drummer for Squirt Vile.
I'm Chris O'Neill. I wear a bass for Squirt Vile.
And I'm Zaid Patterson. I'm the lead frontman for Squirt Vile.
Right on. And you guys played here once before. That was, I believe, that was a show that Mike Felix put together with
was.
King Cackle and Brandy and the Butcher were phenomenal.
Oh,
And of course, we love Self-Made Monsters.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Any chance I get to put them on a bill, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I love watching Eddie perform, man.
Mike puts together some killer shows.
He
doesn't
really
he?
does,
Yeah.
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 And so after that, I was really impressed with you guys, specifically your song "Fuck That Guy." I fucking love that song.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's such a cool
That's a
song.
fun one.
Yeah.
A friend of mine got really drunk one night, and it was a couple Augusts ago, like when we first wrote it, and we had a birthday party for my wife on the back porch, and we annoyed the neighbors and played, and her band played. And it was like one of the first times we ever played it in front of anybody. And my really drunk ass friend Stan Lee, not related to the comic book guy, comes up to me and he's like hammered out of his mind. He goes, "That's the perfect punk rock song."
I mean, he's kind of right. It really is very punk rock. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
But after that show, we had a dialogue going. We're like, let's put something together, and the stars kind of aligned to put together this pretty killer lineup.
Yeah.
Let's take it back. Like, talk about how Squirt Vile became a band, how you guys all know each other, and what you were doing before in the scene.
All right, so like my background is in theater. It's what I studied in college, theater and arts administration. And my day job is I'm the sound guy, technical director for Winthrop University's music department.
Oh, right on.
And so through that, I had met Zaid,
Yeah.
and I ran a classical theater company for 23 years, and Zaid was one of my
Doing
actors.
like Shakespearean.
Yeah, Shakespeare and
Renditions.
Marlowe.
Is that in the Charlotte area?
Yeah, Rock Hill and Charlotte. We performed at Spirit Square before they tore it down.
Okay.
Because anything good, around here,
I
they tear
know,
it
yeah.
down.
Yeah, and especially in the arts, they do.
Right.
Yeah.
And, but like when I was in high school, I played in garage and basement bands, and we did just house parties and stuff like that. And I put the bass down for a while, and so there's a promoter down in Rock Hill, a guy named Mike Gentry, and he plays in two bands. He plays in a band called the Telepathetics and Motel Glory. Both really great bands, very different from one another. And he's a bass player too, but he's the front man for Telepathetics. And he does a thing every so many years whenever he gets a wild hair. It's called Band from a Hat.
Yeah.
And musicians that aren't in a band, or they're in a band and they want to explore other shit, you literally write your name down and what instrument you play, and they pick teams like gym class. And I got put in with a guy, our original drummer, Sergio, and two other dudes who never showed up.
To keep people, so no one gets left behind in the story. There was this event being put together,
Right.
and the idea was you got all these musicians that are looking for people to play with,
Yeah.
and you're throwing all your names in the hat, what you do, and they're drawing names saying, okay, well, this is Chris, he plays bass, and
Right.
they draw another name, this is Serge, he plays guitar. So you put together a 4-piece,
Yeah.
and you guys all decide on a date to practice,
Yeah.
and 2 of you show up.
Yeah. The other guys, well, 3 of us did.
three.
Yeah, our original drummer.
Our original
Yeah,
drummer,
okay.
Thomas, and Sergio and I showed up, and the other 2 never responded to Facebook messages.
Okay.
And so I knew Zayd could sing, and we needed
Yeah.
a singer because and then Thomas decided it wasn't his thing after about a year, I guess.
Yeah.
And
About 2 years.
maybe
Yeah.
2. And so because
Just like a drummer does.
right, so what happened
I
was
can never count to 4, man.
the object was you come back 2 months later and you do a 15-minute set, and it could be covers, it could be original, whatever.
Yeah.
So we had 2 covers worked up and 2 originals that we wrote, and the week before the showcase, the world shut down because of COVID.
You're full timing, man. I'll
And
tell you.
a friend of mine owns a recording studio, and I don't want to dominate all this, but a friend of mine owns a recording studio in Fort Mill, and he had a huge main room where we could distance. So we rehearsed, and that's all we did for that
much
real
all through
During
that
the
time.
shutdown.
right.
Basically, we
Wrote
just kept
songs, rehearsed, and so then when everything got lifted, we started playing out.
Right on. Now, how did when Thomas left? How did you come into the picture? Did you know about this? Were you recruited?
Actually, I was friends with Sergio for quite some time before me joining Squirt Vile. We had a different band starting called City Lies Desolate, and it was me, him, and it was like three
others, yeah.
Yeah, 3 other friends of ours. And I think, what was it, like a year or 2? Like nothing really got done?
We did 2
at
years
all?
straight of just trying to figure out songs, trying to do this, but we never really progressed anywhere. We never really got anything recorded, and everything ended up on bad terms. Me and him weren't on speaking terms for a while, actually.
Yeah.
But we were young then. We were very early 20s, stuff like that.
Just
we
hitting
were
20s
we were
and
still
stuff.
children at the time,
Still
right?
kids.
And the years went by. We kind of let it go. We kind of had some contact here and there every now and then, and so things were cool by then. Whenever Thomas had left, he's one of the best drummers I knew. He's just very hard to get a
Please,
hold of.
darling, too kind.
Shut up. he's just kind of hard to get. He's just hard to get a hold of sometimes.
I have a very bad track record of not answering my phone at all.
You tell me
I
about
just
it.
don't want to.
So I left him a message, saying, "Hey, we kind of need a drummer." By some miracle, he responded.
Yeah.
So we told him a date, an audition. We sent him our EP at the time, other songs that we had been working on. We gave him a couple of weeks because we were having somebody else come in and audition for the drummer part. That other guy ended up bailing out, and basically our schedule was free, and it was just going to be me and Chris. So I sent him a message saying, "Hey, do you want to quote-unquote audition today? We'll obviously go easy on you because you've only had a day to learn this. That wouldn't be fair to expect you to learn. Just come out, jam out, stuff like that, see what's going on." You said, "Okay, cool." So I came pick you up. We gave you a shot. We jammed out. We tried going through the songs as best we could, and you picked it up really fast.
Yeah.
It was actually incredible.
Yeah.
And so I
Very
talked to Chris.
fast.
We're like, if you want in, you're freaking in.
Yeah, he
And-
basically learned our half-hour set in one night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you found like a place for your skill set with this band?
Yes. This band gives me like the exact freedom that I want to actually like just do whatever I want on the drum set and make it work.
Yeah.
And it makes the song so much fun, and the energy that these guys have on stage on top of outside.
Oh, dude,
I just
you
love
ain't
these
lying
guys
about
so
that,
damn
man.
much.
Yeah.
I love these guys so much, man.
But you know, the funny thing is like yesterday I was going through videos of Secrete reels for the Rooster. And one from your show just popped up on my phone that I had saved. I was like, hey, we're interviewing. Okay. It was just weird. I just thought that was funny because the energy, because that's what I recognized.
Yeah.
I didn't even, then I looked and I saw you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. But yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
energy is definitely there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the idea. We're here.
Yeah, it's funny when you guys played, you were almost late because you work at the Ren Fest.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's right.
And you showed up and you were still dressed in your
Yeah.
Ren
Yeah.
Fest car.
Oh, yeah, it was that night, yeah.
Yeah.
When you got here, I didn't know that, so I was like, "Is this a costume? Like,
Is this part of the
is this
bit?
part of the Is this part of the show or what?" But it just I don't
It
know.
works.
It works
Yeah.
so well.
It so works.
And then the very next weekend, my wife and I go to the Ren Fest, and we're walking by, and it's like, oh. There he is, wearing the same costume. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So, have you made? Are you full time artist? Do you just?
I mean, I guess I'm just in that boat of always contracting. I mean, my full-time day job, well, it's not full-time. My day job is working on a food truck down in Rock Hill.
Oh, right on.
But
So good.
over the past couple years, like
Shout out to Kaibi Kaibi.
yeah, Kaibi food truck. But
What's it called?
Kaibi
Kaibi.
CIBI.
And what type of food is it?
It's got fried chicken sandwiches, burgers, rice bowls, Philly cheesesteaks. Like we make everything.
All right, we need to
Yeah.
talk after the show because
Yeah.
we need
We need some food
truck
trucks.
Yeah,
on one of
Right.
our festivals. But anyways, so you do the food truck thing during the day, and
Yeah.
you're pretty much out every evening.
So for now, I've been doing so before I was doing the food truck, I was working other restaurants and stuff. But I had basically a full-time job as a children's CD singer. So I was like the technician that would do the audio for like I would be the guy that would fill in the blanks of kids' names for birthday CDs and stuff. So it's like, "Happy birthday, Timmy, Jimmy." And I did that for about 7 years, like every day, and I just went mad. But it trained like my singing voice basically.
Yeah.
And I did that for 7 years. But then I was also contracting as just like I would do like commercials, like AT&T, like that kind of
Right.
the
So
radio
mostly voice
Voiceovers.
voice
yeah,
work.
voiceovers.
Did you want to like be in radio or anything when you were younger? Like
I always wanted to do animation and cartoons. Like
voice work.
Yes, like I have my voice match is either Tom Kenny or oh man, who did Futurama? The guy that does Fry. The guy that does Fry from Futurama. Good news, everyone.
It's not an
Like-
Acus area, is it?
Billy West, right?
No, it's Billy West.
Billy West. That's it.
So I have a very
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy, yeah. So I have a match for that. So I can do like a good high voice and low voice and stuff like that. But I would do contract work, like random gigs where it's like, hey, I need you to do a commercial for me really quick for like a bar or something like that. And I would do that, get the money, and then just not hear anything for another 2 years until someone's like, hey, I could use your voice again. And then, so very, very like starving artist, basically.
Yeah. Well, I several years ago I started to get annoyed that voiceover work in movies, there was kind of like a shift in the early 2000s where they were just giving all that work to people that were like already movie stars and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and they didn't know
you're putting all the voice guys out of work, man. Like,
Yeah.
what-
Yeah.
Well, and it was really interesting.
like how do ugly
Yeah.
people get rich?
Right.
Wear a mask.
Well, it was really interesting. Like, I actually stopped doing voiceover right when COVID happened. And because, well, one, people were like, oh, I get my cousin to do it. And I was just like, Like I would say I have like I trained under one of the girls that does one of the Care Bears right now, who lives up in Charlotte.
I've seen that girl featured on in, like the paper. So I saw an article on her.
Lisa Biggs.
Yeah, it's not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was trained under her and like a couple other workshops and stuff, and I was like, I am a professional. I have put in enough money. I have been told I'm professional, so I should get paid as such. And everybody that I was doing these little gigs for, they were like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Now I'm thinking, and it's like, okay, I'm going to stop. COVID happens, and everybody starts doing voiceover.
Yeah.
And it's just, it gets oversaturated, and I'm like, so these guys, I was like, I think I'm doing more of the stuff I love with like voiceover, especially with like all the songs that we have. Like my voice changes so much with these songs to where I'm like, this is voiceover work for me, and this is actually like the passion that I wanted to do in all
Fulfilling.
of it.
Yeah.
It's more fulfilling.
Exactly.
And what about the rest of you? Like with this project, with it being such like a happenstance kind of way that it came together, does everyone kind of have like a certain level of commitment that like we just love to do this,
Yeah.
or any of you looking at it more professionally? Kind of where's your head at when it comes to what? Because I could see you guys doing this for the next 20, 30 years. Playing gigs all over town.
Right.
I could see you guys becoming a staple in the punk scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, that'd be nice.
my goal always was, and I think from the very beginning, I told, like Sergio and like, if we get a couple of gigs and it never happens again, we'll have done it. Right?
Right.
And then,
That's funny. That's how I feel about this place.
Yeah.
right.
We,
And then,
we were going out of business. At least we did it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And we got gigs and people seem to like it. And like how we broke into Charlotte was, all right, so I had a mutual friend with Jamie Starks at Tommy's Pub.
Thomas,
right?
yeah.
And I had been introduced to Jamie and he and I hit it off. And they used to do, they still do like a open mic night, but they used to do like a fully outfitted, like with a drum kit and all
Yeah,
that.
that's what we do on Wednesdays.
Yeah. So we just invaded it and played 3 songs. And Jamie was like, holy shit, you guys need to come and play, And so that's how that kind of got started. And like one of the cool things about the punk scene outside of the theater scene is so ego and all this other nonsense. People will stab each other in the back to play a bit part in a play, the punk scene around here, and it sounds so cheesy, but it's really supportive, and like
Yeah.
you play with a band and they're like, wow, you guys were great. Like I got a show next month. Do you want to play? And that kind of stuff. And so we've been all over South Carolina, down to Ridgeville and Columbia
Charleston.
and Charleston,
Those
and-
beach gigs are fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I imagine.
especially in the summertime when that's a lot of fun. And Charleston has the College of Charleston there, so there's already
Yeah.
kind of like a thriving young adult scene down there, nightlife scene.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it kind of took off. I think maybe a little. I mean, it's not like we're selling out rooms
Yeah, no.
around. I don't want to misrepresent, but it seems like it just took off. And like we played last Sunday with a band from the Dominican Republic.
Nice.
And they were
So good.
freaking amazing. And they're like, come down. Come to the DR, toward Dominican Republic,
so
play
cool.
Miami with us, and stuff like that. And we're like,
We'd love to.
sure, I have to get a passport.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that, but it's like that, the guys from Self-Made Monsters, we played with them once, and now it's like, we want to play with them, they want to play with us.
Real recognizes real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
right.
Yeah.
not to
Right.
be, cheesy or cliche about it, but real recognizes real. And
Yeah.
especially in the punk scene. You can't
Yeah.
fake punk.
Well, it's like one really funny thing is that when we were doing that show recently, one of the bands, two bands that I'm in contact with right now, American Theory, they've played
They
here.
are so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are
Them-
so good.
They-
Them and Noir. So at the Ren Fair, I work with the drummer for Noir because we're both in the belly dance band.
Yeah.
And he came out and saw our show for the first time, and he was like, "You guys are silly. I would play with you guys. He's like, y'all need to book with us because y'all are really fun. Maybe not the same style, but it's just a fun combination to where you're opening people up to this new variety of like music where you have this new alternative and then you have like this old style comedy kind of feel to it. And it's like it's for everybody. And it's like it's a really good like it's kind of like back at Winthrop when we used to book like these big bands and stuff like that coming through, we would always open with a comedian. So we'd have a comedian open for a band, so you get this really interesting variety of entertainment.
Maybe that's what we need to do to get people to come out for comedy.
Get punk comedians.
I mean, when Ray popped up here last year at Rooster Olympics and did his little thing, that was like the most refreshing like break in between the bands.
Yeah, we had
It really was.
What she's talking about is last year we had our first big fundraiser, Rooster Olympics, and comedian Ray Money is the guy who does our comedy shows, and we were doing monthly comedy shows, and he showed up with his wife and kids just to hang out, and we were talking. I was like, "You want to go up? You want to go do 10 minutes?" And he's like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And he did, and it was like everyone loved it. Like,
they did.
He engaged everybody.
Yeah.
He was funny, and it was like a nice layer to the event that we hadn't even thought of.
Right. Well, it's vaudeville.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But then, like, we do the comedy shows once a month, and we struggle to get people to come to comedy shows.
Yeah.
I mean, even when we make it free, we still can't pack a room out for comedy. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So maybe that's the trick. Maybe we need to start putting comedians on punk shows.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is,
metal
like, I don't know that we've ever like set out to like we're gonna write a funny song.
No.
Right. But we don't take ourselves very seriously. Right. I mean, I guess we take the music seriously.
Musically
Music,
seriously.
yes.
You can
But
take the
lyrics-
craft
Whole different
seriously.
story.
Yeah, you can take the craft seriously without taking yourself
Right.
seriously.
And the thing is, like, you can tell who wrote the lyrics to our songs by like the angry songs I write. And the sillier ones, Zayd writes. So like, I show up with like, the like lyrics for like "Die Motherfucker," and then
Or
Zayd
"Fuck that guy."
or "Fuck that guy."
I wrote that one.
Right.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I was
Yeah,
having
he
a bad
did.
day.
Oh, all right.
I was like, hang on.
Yeah.
I've seen this before.
But we
Someone's
kind
gonna
of
get
take
punched.
the Doors attitude of like we write. All,
Yeah, we
you know,
all.
Yeah,
I was just about to
we all
ask.
contribute to everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask what the process was like, because that's always interesting, especially with like with punk bands. Like a lot of what I've seen is there's a driving force. There's a guy or a girl or a woman or a man, whatever, that writes most everything. But for the sense that I'm getting is that you guys all come to practice with something to
work on.
contribute to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and with the creative process, the way it kind of goes is usually the way it starts off is either me or Chris will usually come with a riff. We usually come with a sort of rhythm, a sort of pattern we can follow along, and we either record it or we bring it to a live practice and we let everyone hear it. And if everyone feels it, we'll be like, okay, let's go from here. We'll either keep playing it on our loop,
Right.
so John will be able to get a feel for the drums, how
Right.
that would go down. Zay will also get a feel for the song itself.
I'll like mumble like things. I'm like
freestyle.
Right, try to
I'll
build-
like
try-
freestyle
try-
like nonsense basically.
build
with
like
it.
build like a melody, basically how
Yeah.
you'd want your vocal lines to be structured, and we kind of go from there. We repeat it, and we kind of get an idea. We record it to also make sure we don't forget it.
Yeah.
We'll go back on our own time as well. Make sure we iron out. For example, I would iron out how I'd want to play my lead, whether I add extra syncopations here and there, how I'd want
Right.
my solos to be laid out. Chris would also be able to practice his lines. John
Right.
can also in his head practice it as well. You know how if he wants to add an extra fill here, wants to add an extra roll, Zayd will actually go back and write out lyrics to the song that he would want, and that's how the creative process goes. So usually one person will bring in something, but we all contribute. It's all collaborative effort,
Yeah.
so that way we all are contributing. So we don't feel like it's just one person writing everything,
Right.
Yeah.
and everyone else is just basically doing what we're told, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm not a professional musician by any stretch of the word, but it seems to me that you're when you have more vested in the product, you put more effort into it at your life. So like there's more of a connection to it when every single one of you have contributed something
Right.
to this, and I don't know, it just makes for that's probably
genuine.
it's probably what makes your show so good. Is like all of you have contributed this, all of you
Right.
have put this work and effort into it, and it's like like you said, you're going to do your solo, you're going to shine. when you're doing your solo on stage because you wrote it. You know, these funny lyrics. You know, you're making faces at the crowd. You're pointing and stuff. It just makes for a more fun
Right.
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, we've written songs by accident.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
like, and it usually happens after we played a gig, and
Pro
and,
apps.
and John, that one.
yeah.
John has to put his drums back together after we played a gig, and Sergio and I will be just dicking around, and I'll be playing something, or Sergio will be playing something, and we look at each other, and it's like, what are you doing?
It's like, do that again. I like that. I like that. Do it again.
And then all of a sudden, like, we start jamming on it. He finishes putting his drums together and comes in.
While I'm building that drum set,
right.
I'm listening to what
yeah.
these two are doing. I'm like, hold up.
Yeah,
Let me hurry up really quick.
And then like, sometimes they can't make practice, so what we'll do is we'll video it and send it to him, and he comes to the next practice with like lyrics, you know, or the start of lyrics, you know, and it's like very organic, not to sound like, you know, some artsy fartsy, but you know,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That, and it shows. Like I said, it does show, especially in your live performance. And you know, I listen to, you know, anytime before I book bands, I if there's material out there to listen to and watch, I do that. You know, sometimes it gets difficult to, you know, listen to it all or watch it all, but you know, when I'm in the car, when I'm hanging out with the kids and stuff, I'm listening to these bands, and I don't know, it makes me help better decisions on putting shows together because you can kind of tell like who's taking it seriously and who's not.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to single anybody out, but I've heard some absolute shit. I've gone to, you know, some band reaches out or some artist reaches out, and I go listen. I'm like, no, this is not good.
You're just like, oh.
Yeah, and I try not to focus on negative stuff anyway,
Right.
so I just kind of move on. But with you guys really took me by surprise. I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard about you guys reached out, I was like, Squirt Vile. My initial reaction was, are they taking this seriously?
right.
Like, because when you hear, like, there's a lot of fun bands with silly names, but when you hear a silly name like that, you're like, you know, like Skewer Rat, you know, are they taking this seriously?
Yeah.
So you go listen, because if anything, it piqued my curiosity.
Right.
And I'm like, what is this? And much to my surprise, I'm like, oh, these guys fucking awesome. So,
You're too kind, man. You're too kind.
Well, one
you.
thing I always
Thank you.
thought was funny when Chris first asked me to get on here was I loved how Squirt Vile is a musical joke.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, explain,
So,
please.
well, here's the thing. First of all, we didn't pick the name.
Yeah, we didn't.
You're assigned the band name at the band from a hat.
Oh,
Now you're
okay.
allowed to change it if you want, but all right. So I like me being a theater guy, and not to get crazy, but like I'm a huge fan of a playwright named Bertolt Brecht,
Okay.
and he collaborated with a composer named Kurt Vile, German, Weil, but it's
Okay.
pronounced Vile, and they wrote the Three Penny Opera together, right? So Squirt Vile is a play on words on his name.
Okay.
And so that appealed to me because the theater angle, you know, and all that. And it's kind of gross, right? At the same time, you know. And, you know, so we decided to keep the name, you know, and, you know, because we could have come up with something, but we just felt like it fit, you know, because we're writing songs, you know, and like some, you know, we have songs that we haven't played in a while, but like, you know, we have a song about Karens, you know, and
Called
that Zayd
Karen.
wrote.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
I don't think we played the dude either. I have a ghost that lives in my house, and so we wrote a song about him. And we call him the dude.
We couldn't
And
think of an actual name for us. We said,
Right.
let's call him the dude. I can't think
Right.
of nothing else.
well, and you know, he's really chill. You know, he doesn't cause trouble. You know, he abides.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Yeah.
I was getting there.
Yeah.
I was going to make a white
I was
Russian
like, to be
joke.
called
right?
the dude. He
You
must be
literally
a
remember
really
seeing the
chill
walls
ghost.
in blood red run.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
doesn't do
Just
that.
don't
but
even
like,
bother.
like
Just
I
don't-
know.
Yeah, it's got your house now. Have fun.
I think Sergio has seen him.
I think
In the
I
house,
saw
but
him for like a split
You
second.
only see him for like a split second.
Yeah, because I saw something.
I need
weird
to
that
get
freaked
some of
me out.
y'all's
I'm like,
shrooms.
Yeah,
That might be a
he
terrible
looks like
idea.
he looks like a Confederate soldier, and he comes out of our bedroom and walks across the hall into our practice room
He just likes to watch.
at the house, you know. And then every once in a while he'll show up like at the door to our back porch. It's weird, but at any rate, so we wrote a song about that because like I've been playing with like a kind of a bluesy riff, and we started playing it, and that's how.
You're
that
right. I
came
remember.
about.
Yeah, you said you structured the 12-bar blues.
Yeah.
And so I saw the notes you were playing, and so I just followed along with you.
Yeah.
And I threw a couple of more ethereal, more time-based effects on there, through some
Right.
chorus, some reverb on
Yeah.
there to give it more of like a ghosty, ambient
Yeah.
kind of thing. And we just built it from there.
Yeah, it was kind of like a surf riff in a 12-bar blues pattern, and then Sergio started playing over it, and then Zayd wrote lyrics about it.
And that go ahead.
No, I was thinking that out in my head. That's all.
I mean that's something else that you guys are different that you bring to the table. Rather is not a lot of punk bands are doing leads.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
Not a lot of punk rockers are doing. There are some. There are, but you just
Yeah.
don't see it as often.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you've
At
heard him
least
play.
not- at least
Yeah.
yeah.
Please
Yeah.
don't feed my ego.
No, I know.
Too sweet,
But
man.
if you got it, use it.
Well, I mean, it's almost kind of like a throwback to the early punk days because I
Yeah.
mean, back in the day,
Yeah.
that was kind of the standard, and then over time, punk songs just got. Well, they've always been kind of short, but you know,
Yeah.
they're kind of shorter now, less lead. And you can see this Friday, March the 15th, here at the Rooster. Come see Squirt Vile.
Right.
So I got to keep throwing that. I gotta
Please.
let
Yeah,
some
right.
people know it's Friday, the 15th. It's going to be an awesome show. Do you want to talk at all about some of the other bands on the bill? Have you had a chance to play with Long Shot Odds
We've
before?
played with Skewer Rat, and we've also played with Brian's other band, Harriet Rip, a couple times. They're great. Actually, Brian was at my birthday party last night.
Nice,
you know?
nice.
Him and his wife Priscilla. They're good folks, and
They are. They're very supportive.
Yeah.
Very much in the community.
And what's funny is, after Thomas left our band, our original drummer, he was the original drummer in Skewer Rat.
Oh, okay.
And that, whatever. But yeah, so, and Jesse's great. Their singer.
Yeah, Jessie.
Yeah.
She's really good. And we played a show with them at Bart's Mart. I've been itching to play with Long Shot Odds for a while, like getting us hooked up with them. And so I was psyched when Corey said he could do it,
Yeah.
because he's been supportive without ever seeing us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
so,
Long Shot Odds had been trying to get in here for a while. Like,
Yeah.
they had sent me information a while back, and most of the punk shows that we've had have been put together through like I haven't put them together. Like
Right.
either a promoter or somebody
Right.
in the band have kind of brought a bill. I mean, like I want to do these three bands, these four bands. So this was one where I actually worked with you guys to kind of
Yeah.
build the roster
Yeah.
out. So giving Long Shot Odds this opportunity, it made me really happy to finally have a spot to put them on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as easy as you think it is to
No.
give the opportunity. Sometimes you got to make a decision to so you got to put somebody on the back burner because there's just not
Right.
an
Yeah.
opportunity, and you don't want to force that kind of thing because what I've learned in the last little over a year, almost year and a half, is when I've tried to force something, a bill, the show just doesn't hit the way you want it
Right.
to. And that's not a knock on any of the bands that's ever played here. It's me trying to crowbar something in.
Right.
Never works. So
Yeah.
I've learned to kind of let these things play themselves out and happen organically.
Yeah.
Again, to use a free word.
Yeah.
But yeah, this bill came together in a way that was like finally.
Yeah.
I've got this thing I can be
Right.
proud of to put out there, and
Yeah.
I hope that you all come and check them out because this is going to be a really fun punk show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen Long Shot Odds live yet, so it'll be my first time seeing
Yeah.
them.
But we've seen Skewer Rat.
Yeah, we've seen the rest of you guys, so this is going to be.
And see, we haven't heard Trash Candace yet, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see them because I love new bands. I think we were talking about this the other day. One of the coolest parts about being in a band and playing with bands you don't know is all of a sudden you got new friends.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like playing with this band from Dominican Republic. Like my bass rig went down, and those guys went back out to their truck and brought out their bass head, and then when the head wasn't the problem, they went out and unpacked their bass player's Ampeg refrigerator 810 and brought it in so we could play our show.
Again, phenomenal.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
say
Very
it's midnight.
Yeah,
Seriously.
and so
Very, very
but that's how it is.
well, that's the community aspect
Yeah.
of doing
Right.
what we do that drew me
Right.
to this.
Yeah.
Doing this for a living and being a part of this scene, it makes me really proud, makes me really happy. It's almost like a vindication that like I made the right decision.
Yeah.
Because before I did this, I heard a lot of people talk about how disenfranchised and how fragmented the Charlotte scene was, and how it got real competitive, and it did. It did. That is what happened.
Right.
And then through all this, and this may have been ego, I don't know, but I was like, well, I can change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can fix that. Like, building a place like this to provide, to give
Right.
opportunity. Like, if you're going to have a selfish, egotistical mindset, you're not going to get the opportunity here. Building the community, it's just different. It's the same thing I've been telling people about the downtown area here in Gastonia.
Yeah.
It's just different now.
Yeah.
There's a different energy. It
Yeah.
feels different. It's just not the way it used to be. It has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and it's funny because like we live in Rock Hill, and we're the 5th biggest city in South Carolina, and all this nonsense. And
Searching his face.
it's so, and I'm saying, if it wasn't for this guy Mike Gentry, there would be no scene in Rock Hill. He is the scene in Rock
And
Hill.
what's his like? Does he own a club, or
He
what
is.
did he do?
He used to work for the Rock Hill York County Art Society.
Okay.
As a gallery director, and now he's Winthrop University's gallery director.
Okay.
He's a visual artist by education, bass player by love, and he just started promoting shows. He started out at like a sushi restaurant in Rock Hill, and it kind of grew. And when he worked for the Arts Council, he had access to the courtroom at the Getty Center, which is kind of a cool venue. It's the old federal courtroom in Rock Hill, and it's some nights he has 10 people there. Some nights he has 100.
All of them.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, and like any venue really,
Yeah.
but and so I've always thought like, how is Gastonia cooler than Rock Hill? Like there was a guy here for a while, had like a whole production facility, like in one of the old buildings, and as I without being that guy, I do some acting too, and I was in a series of TV commercials that shot in Gastonia, and I was in an independent film, like a high budget independent film that shot in downtown Gastonia, and I'm like, Rock Hill doesn't do that, and I mean, I live in Rock Hill on purpose, but
Taxes are cheaper down there.
oh god,
Property
yeah,
taxes
cigarettes
are-
too.
yeah.
If you gas,
Yeah.
all that,
My
but
parents just moved to South Carolina. They
Yeah.
moved to
Everything
Blacksburg.
is-
oh wow, right.
But no, I mean it's it takes, first of all, it takes courage to carry this type of torch. You have to have courage to do it, first of all, and then you have to be doing it because you want to and you love it. Like that's one of my biggest gripes with like your arts councils and your arts societies, and like they're all publicly funded for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in order to keep an organization like that afloat, you have to be willing to play the political game. You have to play
Yeah.
politics.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know this. I'm not telling you anything new. You work for a university.
Yeah.
You can't go out there and say some wild shit and not have a repercussion,
Right.
a consequence for your
Yeah.
action. But I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit what the mayor or the city council
Right.
or anybody. I
Right.
don't. They're not giving me money.
Right.
Now, you want to pay up? You want to help me pay this loan off? We can talk about what
Right.
I say on the microphone.
Yeah.
But until that happens, you and I don't mind. Like I said again, it goes back to courage. I don't really care.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is awesome, and I know it. And
Right.
everyone that's involved is really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So until that changes, we're going to keep doing this.
Right.
And that's so. And again. Arts are one of the last things to get funded.
Oh, yeah.
They're one of the first things to
First
get
things to
stripped
go.
down.
Yep.
So you need people that, I mean, we all do this because we love it. You need people that
Yeah.
love it, that are going to say, consequences be damned, fuck it, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And fortunately, since we've been open, I've managed to create or, foster some relationships with some of these people that do work for these organizations.
Right.
And the conversations are now being had of like, well, how do we, you've got 15 different organizations trying to achieve the same goal, doing it different ways.
Yeah.
How do we get on like a united front and like make this matter more? And it goes back to what you said, how is Gastonia cooler than Rock Hill? It's not that it's cooler than Rock Hill, it's just there's more people
Yeah.
that care about this right now.
Right.
And hopefully we can keep that going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
No, and it's great. And, without speaking out of turn, we love this place.
Yeah.
Your place.
Thank you.
We had
probably our
such a
favorite.
great time playing
Oh,
here.
yeah.
and sound guy, everything, from Ariel greeting us at the back door to the nice big stage and and all that stuff. And you guys treated us really well, and we had a great time here.
Yeah, I'd say out of all the places we played, your sound guy is the best we ever played with. That was crystal clear, crystal. I'm like, oh my god,
yes, I can hear everything I need to hear in the monitor the way I need to hear it without like being a dick, and
took the words right out of my mouth, man.
You know what? That's what I think the point is like all of our sound guys are musicians themselves.
Yeah,
right.
So that I think makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It does. Well, that and they don't have ego. I have
they-
had
yeah.
sound guys work here that have ego, and they only worked a handful of shifts before I moved on.
Right.
Because I'm not willing to let us develop a reputation for treating anybody in a negative way. There was this one guy in particular he was a pretty good sound guy. He was pretty good, but he was such a dick to the performers, and
Right.
I'm like, what? Why? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like, what are you getting out of that?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, aren't we all trying to like have a really good time here? Aren't we trying to make each other look good and sound
Because
good?
nobody's getting
That's what
rich,
it's all about.
right?
Yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah.
getting rich, so you might as well have fucking fun.
Yeah.
None of us are making Stones money,
That's what,
so
it's for the love
Yeah.
and the fun of it.
Yeah.
You don't
exactly
have
right.
to
You
be
do
an
it
ass.
because you enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, why are you doing it?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of, I guess that's the lesson we're teaching here. If
Right,
we're going to
right,
put a
right.
bow on
It's
top
always
of it.
our lesson. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Always
don't
a
be-
lesson.
It's not just for this, but just for life in general. Don't be a
Right.
dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Because
Words
if you
I'm-
come
words
in
I'm
here
still not
like
starting to
that,
do to
you
say,
will
I'm
hit
sorry.
it right back from the moment you
No.
come in that door.
Right.
You come in like that, I will hand it right back to you.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to
He will
get
do
on
the
your
same.
bedside, Ariel. I know that. Without seeing it, I know that.
Yeah.
Right? But no, like from the minute we got here, we felt like we were valued, and that's a great feeling, to have. And
Right.
so therefore we had a great time here, and I think we played a really good show here,
Yes,
know.
we did.
Yeah.
And we
Right.
felt
did.
really good when we were done.
All right, played played my heart out to the point. Third string, I popped the string. I'm like, oh my
that's
god, this
right,
place is
yeah.
gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, did you get your bass head fixed?
I'm working on it. When I get home today, I got a couple things to do today, and I don't want to get political, but I have to vote today to keep a certain somebody from getting many percentage points in the Republican primary, because I knew who was going to win the Democratic primary.
It's the beautiful thing about being registered independent is you get to choose which primary.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, South Carolina, we have open primaries, so you can only vote in one, but you can vote in whichever one you want.
Right.
And and I don't want to piss off any supporters of that dude, but
I doubt anyone's watching this is
Yeah.
even going to have a clue what
Right?
you're talking about.
right. So
I don't even know what we're talking about right now.
right. So I'm
Right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
because I don't want either one of them. I don't want any of them that are on the ballot right now.
So anyway, your bass head will be fixed before you come here, right?
I think it's a cabinet.
Fix your head, man.
I think it's a cabinet, so I got to take a look at the cabinet. But it will be ready by the 15th.
And if not, we can always use Brian's because that motherfucker, he brings way more than he needs.
Right.
He's got a big
He's
old.
prepared.
Yeah,
he's
he's
the
prepared.
Boy Scout.
Yeah.
But yeah, and what's funny is so my wife has a band, and Ethan, their bass player, he has the same exact cabinet that I do.
Oh.
So I can always borrow his.
There you go.
You know,
That's the reason you actually got that cabinet, right?
yeah, it is because I borrowed it to play here, and I loved the sound of it so much. I went and bought one.
Right, because the very first bass head, the first rig you're using was one of those old school custom tuck and rolls. Playing
Yeah.
through one of those, I mean, it sounded okay, but now what you're going through. But with your current head playing through that
Yeah.
cabinet, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I love the sound of it so much. I stopped using pedals. All that. The
Oh,
only
wow.
pedal I bring is a tuning pedal now. Because I just love that the pure. It gets such a good low end and all that stuff.
Plus, you gotta yell at me a couple times to cut down my pedals too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
have you seen his pedal board? No. It looks like a suitcase you would take for a month-long trip to Europe.
I've seen several people
Yeah, I've
come in
seen
here.
one.
Yeah. That's,
I think
that's
my
not
wife
new.
could actually fit inside it.
Hey, if it works for Agent 47, it works for me.
So I mean, these guys should talk. So
He's like,
This is how most conversations go.
I can talk about
It
this
goes
shit.
on and on.
I can talk about this shit all day long.
that's what happens to me every time I smoke weed. Like that's why I don't smoke weed, because I'll find myself in the middle of a sentence being like, "Shut the fuck up, man! Like, what are you doing?"
It's like, who's talking? Shut up. Oh, wait, that's me.
All right, so let's wrap it up, fellas. Squirt Vile, you can see them here Friday, March 15th with long shot odds, with Skewer Rat and Trash Candace. It's going to be, it's St. Patty's weekend.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have a St. Patty's surprise for you guys.
We have more Rooster Red Ale.
Yes.
That went out real fast.
It really did.
Real quick, I'll just say this: we collaborated with Cavendish Brewery to put together an Irish Red called Rooster Red Ale. I was like, let's do Rooster Red. Now, the reason that we did this with Cavendish a while back, about a year or so ago, there's a brewery in Charlotte who will not be named that has a Red Rooster Ale. Mm-hmm. And I tried for a couple of months to get these guys to work with me to get their beer in here so we could sell. Their rep just wouldn't respond. I ended up talking with somebody in their office, and like that went nowhere. I just could not get these guys to work with me. And when I finally got to talking to somebody, their pricing was kind of outrageous. I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll bring these 2 SKUs in at your regular price if you discount the red, so I can make it a house beer. And they wouldn't do it. So I'm like, all right, fuck you then.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I started talking with the guy that owns the brewery here, and I was like, well, what do you think? I don't see an Irish Red. Like, have you ever tried an Irish Red? He's like, well, we tried it once right at the beginning, but we haven't tried it again. So I'm like, all right, well, let's do this. Let's make a red ale, and if it goes well, we'll call it Rooster Red. It'll be our house beer. We'll sell it. Blah blah blah. So they made a small batch.
Nice.
And hats off to Dennis. That dude is the man when it comes to brewing beer. He brews a hell of a beer. So I went and tried it right before they canned it. Fantastic beer. I took a picture of the cup, posted it on social media, got a buzz going. That was a 5-barrel batch. They sold out in the first weekend. 3 days.
Wow.
3 days.
That's awesome. For like a month?
And no, we've had it on tap for 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks, okay.
And it's going to kick tonight.
Yeah.
Like that is going, and then we're going to be out for another week and a half because they immediately made a bigger batch because it went so well. And my hope is that we can keep this, make this year-round beer, and it can be our house beer.
So really, for a beer, you make me want a beer, man.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just saying.
So we'll have Rooster Red, Rooster Irish Red on tap for the show, and we're gonna have a big old punk rock St. Patty's party. And thanks.
And Mike, don't forget, we're also going to be here on 420
That's right.
with Bedlam Hour, who are like heroes of mine. And I am so friggin' stoked about that.
So
You wanna see a
420,
show?
420 will be another punk rock show.
Yeah.
Now Bedlam Hour, I wanted Soda City right in here so
I know,
bad.
I love them.
And
We played a couple
unfortunately,
shows with them, and Billy Riot is like one of them. Like, Yeah.
Well, Billy Riot is now in Bedlam Hour,
Yeah.
and we're going to get them here. That's I mean, they've been around for
ever.
Yeah.
They're the OG.
Yeah.
You know?
There's
I was
a
trying to
good
find the right adjective there to
Yeah.
describe them. They're kind
Yeah.
of legendary, I guess, is the word I would use to describe them. So that's something to look forward to. 420 punk rock show. So we're going to get drunk for St. Patty's. We're going to get high for 420, and we're going to listen to some punk rock. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's Squirt Vile. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram. What else?
Bandcamp. We're still on Bandcamp, and we're on Spotify, but don't go there because we don't get paid. Because
go to Bandcamp and support them. Just pay for the music, download it. You got it on your phone whenever you want.
got-
Better come see us in person.
and
We
we got a ton of merch.
We got a lot of merch, a lot
And
illustrated by my brother.
Yeah.
Really gross, like Rat Fink style.
Yeah, you've seen our logo.
And our sponsors,
Uncle
Artsy Fartsy,
Squirty.
they make phenomenal quality work. And
Who
they're great
does?
people, too.
Artsy Fartsy Craft is our merch manufacturer.
Yeah.
They're
They're
local in
We
Clover.
know.
Yeah, they're actually based
We
out
know
here.
they're one of our Misfit
Shout out
Market
to-
regulars.
Right on. So you know Daniel and
Yeah.
Andy Gross. Yeah.
Shout out to our record label,
Yeah,
River
our
Monster
label,
Records.
River
Larry,
Monster
we love you.
Records, Larry Parker.
Yeah, let's get all the plugs in.
Yeah,
There you go.
It's sort of like after you win the
gotta show we
NASCAR
still
race.
love
You know,
you.
you gotta, you
Show
know,
us all those bank accounts, please.
the Squirt Vile Chevrolet.
Plug.
I'm seeing that scene from Wayne's World where they're in the jumpsuits, the Pizza Hut box.
And we'll be up here March 15th. We'll bring the Violator, our van, and
It's gonna get weird.
For all the
It's
Squirt
gonna get
Vile.
weird.
Downtown Gastonia is going to get weird on
Yep.
Friday, March 15th. Come party with us, guys. Thank you so much for doing this. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Peace and love. We're out.